What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night. That means this is at week's end. We're going to take a spoiler-filled look back this week in comic books, some trailers, some TV shows, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, hang out a little bit. We're doing an earlier show tonight because the Super Bowl is on. But before we go any farther, I do want to give a big shout out. We just lost an amazing member of the community in the early hours of the morning. Papa Willie is no longer with us, and just wanted to give just a huge shout out to him. Amazing individual. And if you know him or if you were able to spend time with him or anything, be sure to I would say go over to his YouTube channel. His brother has done some videos and put some posts up, and maybe just drop your condolences there so that the family get it directly, and just keep his family in your thoughts, pray for him, all that good stuff. But we're gonna just keep the show rolling. Papa was hardcore, and he was a great guy, and I'm sure that he would expect no less. So let's get rocking.
He was one of a kind, absolutely.
He was. And as he would say, yeah, absolute dude, staple of the community. Is going to be greatly missed. Greatly missed. But yeah, what's going on, Paul? Hello to you.
Not too much. Too much going on with you?
Well, it's kind of weird to ask each other that after we just got done going through the conversation of what we've been up to. But I just got done running to the grocery store, picking up some stuff for the kids to have for the week. I popped into the comic shop that's right by the grocery store and looked at the books coming out for next week and some of the stuff there. And now we're getting back. It's going to be a decent show. I know our heads all over the place with all the crazy conspiracy shit that I love getting into, but with also losing Papa Willie. And I see some people in the comments. We got the adventurous one. Joe Michael said, "Pour one today for Papa Willie." Yeah, absolutely. We got James Willie, R.I.P. Raider. Yeah, thoughts are with his family. Carry on doing the things they enjoyed doing. That's how I try to honor the memory of friends and family that passed. Sorry for everyone who lost a friend or family member today. R.I.P. Papa Willie. Absolutely. Forever missed. Yes, 100%. What is going on, Ruby G? Good to see you, homie. And that is my cue to do the Ruby G plug. Be sure to check out Ruby G on all the social medias. Phenomenal artist. He does these cards as well as comic book covers and such. You can support an artist and a father by getting some art done by Ruby G. If he ever makes it big, like he'll be able to come back to this stream and see like his first like consistent commercial plugs happened here. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, sad stuff. I would say if you're just hearing about it, the Papa Willie's channel, his brother went live on his channel to share the details of everything last night. And then he passed at the early hours of the morning, overnight kind of thing. We were hours of the morning. So you can get info over there. But I do encourage everybody to go over there. And if you haven't shared your condolences or whatnot, that'd be a good place to do it, because I know the family really appreciates it. They don't take this community for granted and what it meant to Papa, being limited with how he can get around and what he can do. He always had an outlet here. It's one of the awesome things about these platforms and stuff like that it really opens up the world to a lot of people. And yeah, I was telling Paul, I try not to take life for granted. I think I'm pretty good at it. But listening to Brian speak last night, he made a comment that Papa was never able to take a bite of pizza or eat French fries kind of thing. And I told Paul, like, that moved the goalpost for where taking things for granted starts for me. So if there's anything at all of like other than just a lot of us spent tons of time with Papa on here, but if there's anything that I know will stick with me, it'll definitely be that. Because I do try so hard to enjoy every day, and that's going to ultimately help me enjoy every day even more. So I'm going to be forever grateful for Papa for that.
Don't take any moment for granted.
Hello to Beth, R.I.P. Papa Willie. Absolutely. So not even sure how to twist or turn this. I mean, Super Bowl's happening tonight. I don't sports ball, but who are we pulling for?
Well, I know when I say we, I know me. Pulling for the.
We're a team, Paul.
Okay. We're pulling for the New England Patriots to beat the Seattle Seahawks.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Go Patriots. And why is you're from New England, right?
Correct. Born in Rhode Island, spent 20 some years in Connecticut before I moved to Florida.
So like with New England and Seattle, dude, this is like truly like an East Coast West Coast battle happening right now. Like this is a thing.
It is, and it's more intense because if you know your Super Bowl history, this is the second time that Seattle and New England are playing against each other in the Super Bowl, and the last time Seattle had the ball on like the 3 yard line. All they had to do was run. They had like one of the best running backs ever, like a beast of a man. All he had to do was just run it into the end zone, and instead they threw the ball, and New England intercepted it, shut them down. Seattle lost by 1 point.
Right at the end kind of
Right at
thing.
the end, with like seconds left to go, with like 20
Was the
seconds left
ball
to go.
fully inflated?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was before. That was before all that.
Yeah. I remember the inflate gate. Wasn't that with the Patriots?
It was deflate gate. Yep. Then there was the whole stealing signs and everything. That was a whole. That was this was before all the pictures were taken of other teams. This was
My Super Bowl knowledge or my football knowledge really starts and ends at Keanu Reeves, the replacement.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of just putting like glue on your hands. You know what I mean? Like that's like inflate the ball, deflate, whatever, but allow the glue on the hands. I think that makes the game infinitely more entertaining. That was a funny movie. I don't know.
You'd be surprised how many people can actually catch a football with one hand, with the amount of stickum that they put on their gloves.
I've seen the clips. Some of these guys like diving fully stretched out, just fingertips, and then just bring it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the athleticism and some of like can I see like the highlight stuff and like the best of moments? It's truly impressive. It's really cool. People like flipping over people and stuff like that. And this one guy like did a couple spin moves and he had his back faced to the guy about to hit him. He just jumps up and spreads his legs like he's going to mount a horse, and the dude dives right under him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how did he even see him? Pretty wild stuff. But we got some plans for tonight's show. I guess we can start with a couple of TV show reviews. We have a new episode of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. We have a new episodes of Knights of the Seven Bodily Fluids.
2 episodes.
I didn't watch the new one yet.
Oh,
I assumed it was coming on at 8 or something.
No, it came out on Friday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I didn't watch it yet.
I won't spoil it other than to tell you it is defecation free.
Oh, that just kind of takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come for the sword fight, stay for the defecation.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got an episode of that, and we're going to be checking out the new Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 trailer. They've been finally going pretty hardcore on the promotional stuff. A brand new trailer came out, not a teaser. It really reveals and shows the Titans in full force, Godzilla, Kong, the new Titan X creature that's new and specific to this show this season. So, yeah, no poop, I'm out, right? They've set a standard.
They really have.
Yeah.
I think they're just running. I just think they're running out of things to ship. That's all.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I guess you want to start with some Starfleet Academy, I guess.
Sure. This was basically, for those people who are Star Trek fans, this was basically a love letter to Deep Space Nine and the Ben Sisko, the captain of Deep Space Nine, who became an emissary to the prophets at the end of the series. It was all about that. Basically, the Sim, or a Mill, or whatever her name is anyway. The holographic cadet,
the hologram life form.
Yes, exactly. Who is there trying to understand organics because her people are trying to determine whether or not they should re-engage the organics and become, and if so, what will it take and everything, and is it worth reintegrating with them and everything. So she's kind of there on that mission, and she ends up doing as she goes into this thing. She finds that she wants to take a course on Ben Sisko, and she ends up going through the history of Ben Sisko. So if you've never watched DS9, it does a great job of explaining all the things, especially how the series ended. But it hits all the things. It hits on his love for baseball. It hits on his love for Cassidy, for his son, the death of his first wife, all of those type of things. It hits on those because she's trying to find out, is Ben Sisko still alive somewhere? And if so, will he ever return? So it kind of delves into that. Never really gives you an answer. We do get a couple of kind of interesting cameos. We get the actor who played Sisko's son in DS9, who is Jake Sisko. He shows up as an older. Obviously, he's going to be probably 20 years older than he was in the series, if not more. He shows up and through some holographic things and explains some things about Jake Sisko and everything that's going on. The person who is teaching the course that the holographic cadet wants to take is the voice of Mariner from Lower Decks, Connie Newsom.
She's also the co-writer of this episode.
She's also co-writer of the episode. She's one of the producers on the episode. And at the very end, we find out that she is a Dax. And for those of you who don't know what a Dax is basically a parasite type of a being that once the being they're in dies, it is then transported. It is transplanted into another being. And so Dax can live forever. They just live on in different organisms, and it just so happens so we have that as well. So she is a Trill, which is that species, and she happens to be Dax, which is very important to the DS9.
So that's a specific Trill from a previous season.
From DS9, from Deep Space Nine. Yep. Yeah, it was really good. Again, if you're, it does a couple, and at the very end, we also hear Avery Brooks, who played Ben Sisko. Now, he did not record this specifically for this episode. This was taken from something else he had done, but he did allow them to use it for the episode. So we hear his voice at the end, and I thought it was a really nice tribute to DS9, which doesn't get enough love. DS9. It's many people think that it's the best series that Star Trek has ever done.
Paul at ABX, he talks to me about Deep Space Nine a lot. He did a rewatch through not too long ago, and he says like going back and rewatching it, he says it's 1,000 times better than he remembered in real time when it came out. Like he says, This might be the best one there is. He's in that camp.
Yep. A lot of people liked it, and a lot of people were wary about it too because it was the first one that didn't center around a spaceship. It had everybody coming to them as opposed to them going out. So people were kind of wary of that, but it also had some huge overreaching arc, like the Dominion War and everything was part of Deep Space Nine. But yeah, overall, I loved it, and I think it's a great show. And again, this was just kind of a love letter to that, so it was great.
I thought it was okay. Like I got no history with it. I thought it got extremely weird at times. Like I thought. I mean, there's no nice way to say it. Like like it's kind of hit me in the face when they go to a gay bar wearing skirts to beat up Asian ladies. Like I'm like, what am I watching right now? Like that's literally an accurate statement about the show I watched. And I'm just like, what? How did it? Like we were just in a museum. Now we're here. Like, but yeah, I'm watching it and I can tell like, okay, this is all lore going over my head in real time, and I can recognize that. I'm like, but yeah, they like you said, they did a decent job of doing some explaining what this guy liked in his personal life. I don't feel like I know any more about him or his achievements kind of things or stuff like that. But I know that like they said, like he loved his wife, he loved his kid. Something about a barbecue or jambalaya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gumbo.
Yeah, I know he liked gumbo, so I guess that's important about him.
Huge fan of New Orleans. That was big to his character as well.
Yeah, so I guess it hit more on his personal life than his work life with the thing. But yeah, it was an episode for me.
It was an episode.
Yeah. It's the difference between somebody who knows all the lore and somebody who knows none of the lore watching the same show. So it's just I'm gonna continue to run this experiment, I guess.
There you go.
the lore experience and the no lore experience. I wouldn't be able to recommend this show because, like I said, as someone who know lore, I'm like I can recognize it's just all up here.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you're fine with that, give it a shot, I guess. But I think like the premiere, like for
Mhm.
me, I really enjoyed, and since then it's kind of just like, all right. But the premiere I really liked. Those
Mhm.
first two episodes I really liked. I don't know. Maybe we should just get back in space and start shooting rockets and stuff like. I guess that's
Well,
the
I still think that that's coming because I think that by the end of the first episode, by the end of the first season anyway, they have to resolve is Caleb's mother still out there somewhere?
now. I'm of the mindset that I don't think we're going to do that by this season, only because I found out that this show was greenlit and made to be 2 seasons right at the
Correct.
beginning. So no
And
matter what,
they're halfway through filming season 2 already.
yeah, if they canceled the show a year ago, you're still getting 2 seasons. Like that's
Mhm.
the bare minimum. So I think they're writing that to be our main like carryover thing. I think we might get like a big like, oh, I know where she is kind of thing at the end of this, and now we just got to go get to her maybe in the season
Could be.
two.
Could
Like
be.
whatever a good halfway point to getting to her is, like confirming she's alive, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I see what you're saying. I guess the thing though is one of the things that people have not liked about some of the Star Trek things is these overarching. Again, it worked with DS9, but in the new Star Trek, they like more one and done episodes with maybe something that kind of sprinkles in that is common reference throughout the series. But I think to have it go more than one season for his mother, to me, that seems like that would be
Too
I don't
much.
know, too much. Yeah.
That's fair.
Did you
Again, I have no experience
yeah,
with it.
did you see that they announced that the release schedule for the Maul series?
The what?
Maul, Darth Maul.
Oh, Darth Maul. No, no, not at all.
They're going to release 2 episodes every week on Mondays. So it's going to basically run, I think, 5 weeks. I think.
It's a pretty long series. I
Yeah.
guess I bet they'll be like 20-minute episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty decent.
Yep.
I'll give it a shot. I have a hard time getting too invested in the cartoon stuff. Like I try and then I just find myself forgetting to watch it one week and then I just don't go back to it. But that trailer looked really good,
Mhm.
really tough. I still stand on. I wish they would like invert everything they've done live action and everything they've done cartoon, except for the Mandalorian season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I wish season 3 didn't exist, but season 1 and 2 was fantastic. All right, you just watched it. You just saw it just moments ago, but they released a brand new Supergirl trailer today. Uh, for those that aren't good at noticing things, which we found out here recently, some people are a lot better at noticing things than others. For those that aren't good at noticing things, it looks like movie studios are doing stuff differently now. Warner Brothers tested the waters last year with the Superman trailer at the Super Bowl. They didn't participate. They didn't pay hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to run a trailer. Instead, they got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, to release the trailer on their social media platforms, which I've talked about this before. Warner Brothers has a monetized Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and then they have like a UK version of all of
Mhm.
those, and they have a Spain version of all those. They have all these individual monetized channels that they release the same content on, and they make tons of money by doing it. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of that same thing, a little bit more this year at the Super Bowl. And I guess Supergirl was one of them because they released a brand new Supergirl trailer just a little bit ago today with some new footage in it. Paul just watched it,
Mhm.
as did I. What'd you think of the new trailer?
It was fine. It didn't add any more hype for me than the first trailer did. You know, didn't make me any. I was already excited to see it. It didn't make me any more excited to see it. Let's put it that way.
So I'm like super skeptical with the first little look of Kara that we got
Mhm.
from the Superman movie. I You know me, I'm a Tom King stan.
Mhm.
Like I'm a major defender, diehard defender of it. And I was a little bit happy with this trailer because it gave us more dialogue of Kara specifically. And what I could tell from that dialogue is it wasn't that that Valley Girl, like
Right.
to quote her from Superman, bitch.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that. It sounded like Supergirl talking like this is going to end badly
Right.
for y'all.
You,
Like,
yeah.
like there we go. That's a little bit, and that's her in the moment when
Mhm.
the only time in the book she ever appeared drunk, and even I gotta point this out, very regretful the very moment as soon as you turn the page, like throwing up, regretting her decision to get drunk that day. But I'm like, okay, that's a little bit better because all we've seen before is just like the Valley Girl club wreck sorority stereotype and her dancing under a disco ball and stuff. So I really liked that we got that little bit more dialogue, and the crypto puppy scene, like where I don't necessarily care about crypto like a lot of the people that are like bandwagon fans of crypto, which is a cool character, fun dog. But there's so much that's potentially going to happen in this movie that's going to be exceptional if they play to the story. For most people don't know, crypto won't be there for it, guys. Crypto is going to be in the infirmary the entire movie.
Mhm.
So getting that little bit of Kara, I thought was awesome. I love the cinematography, the look of it, the color palette of it. I absolutely love the more muted colors, like when she's swinging that whatever it is and knocking out those guys. It looks dusty. It looks orangish brown. It looks like a Western, like it should.
Mhm.
Like it should. So there's a handful of things in there that I really, really kind of gave me a little bit of relief in that aspect. So I'm like, there we go. There's been a lot that's come out. Some early screenings happened, and people pointed out that Lobo's role is significant and important to the ending. Krim is described as extremely menacing and a tremendous villain, which I'm going to die on the hill that they destroyed a major aspect of him, changing his character design. In the comic books, he's handsome, naturally charming looking. He's got red hair and a beard, and so for him to look so unassuming and be so deadly, that's part of the character kind of thing. So for them to kind of make him to look like a bad guy with tattoos and shaved head and weird things, like I get it. You want something that's more like, hey, that's a bad guy. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. It makes it easier to identify. If you're just looking at a picture, it makes it easier to identify who the good guy and the bad guys are. But the ones who look like they're good but are really bad, those are the more dangerous ones.
more dangerous, yeah. Yeah, when he's standing there across from her, like with his shirt off and his little shoulder armor, with his chin held high and his sword down, it gives you that sense that this guy thinks he's right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He thinks he's right. This total cosmic SOB murdering scumbag is so arrogant, he thinks he's right. You know what I mean? But when you look like a space pirate, you know you're the bad guy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it takes that element out of it. But yeah, we got just says there was a test screening for Supergirl and it got major positive reviews from those that seen it. Yep. Wow. Rest in peace, Papa Willie. My heart goes out to his mother. I remember seeing her. Yeah, she was always on stream taking care of him. And we talked about it earlier, Lords of Brooklyn. But if you go to his YouTube page, his brother did a video talking about the details of his hospitalizations last time. But I encourage everybody, if you haven't, just to like drop a comment on the most recent live stream, or even the post that he put up. He put just like a text message post up. Just send them some love and support over there because they legitimately appreciate it, and the community. 34 Easy, what is going on? Garfong, hello, how are you? Pops rolled in here as well. But yeah, you got to see Puppy Crypto. I thought that was cool. But yeah, ultimately, I think it helps shift the assumed tone of it a little bit. I think we're definitely still going to get more jokey, ha 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 than I would necessarily want in this film. But I know you got to play to more people than just me. But I think if you played to my taste, ultimately everything would work out in the end. You know what I mean? Quality wins in the end.
I can just say it now. James Gunn described it as "This is for Mark."
This is for Mark. Hey, Man of Steel made gangbusters. Suicide Squad 1 made gangbusters and won Oscars. Like these are just the facts.
According to the guy who runs Netflix, Superman didn't.
Oh, I said Man of Steel.
I know.
Yeah, what a great point. And doesn't that just really split the divide? You know,
Yeah.
It's fun picking on anything that's divisive. And when I say picking on, I mean the people that choose the far sides of the argument. When it comes to the Snyder Bros versus the gun heads, Man, like the Snyder Bros got some major ammo thanks to the Netflix CEO this past week. You want to fill everyone in on what happened with what's his name, Sarandis or
Yeah,
Sarandon?
whatever his name is. So he went. He got called to a congressional hearing because um, they have hearings to make sure that the antitrust things aren't going on or whatever, and they're not creating monopolies. And um, the issue of Superman came up, and he basically said that Superman underperformed, and that's why it got pulled before 45 days because it
Yeah, they were
underperformed.
asking about are you committed to a
Right.
45-day
5 day.
window? Because one of the
Yeah.
things that, so the congressional committee, I think, was carrying some of the because what people aren't thinking about, you've had Christopher Nolan, you've
Mhm.
had James Cameron, you've had other very, very significant Hollywood directors, producers reach out to Congress and express their concerns. So these congressmen that we all dislike were sitting there sharing those concerns. Do you think the congressmen know
Right.
all that? No, it's coming from the industry.
Mhm.
They're repeating the stuff the industry has said that serves them best, kind of thing.
Right.
And one thing that keeps changing, and I think this is most people's biggest concern, is the theatrical window.
Right.
Like if Netflix takes Warner Brothers, will this destroy cinema? And I think it's a real probability, Paul, that in our lifetime, the cinema that we all grew up with, know and love, could possibly come to an end. It might become a niche thing in some towns, kind of thing, but this could be the death knell for it because
Mhm.
Netflix is a streaming thing, and they've promised that we'll allow movies to go. We'll go to there. Then they said, well, we'll make sure they get a week or two in there. Then they changed it to 45 days. And when they asked them about it, they said that the industry standard is 45 days. Things can go farther, things can go shorter. For example, Superman didn't go 45 days because it stopped performing, but Sinners went over 45 days because it continued to perform. Now, this doesn't mean total dollars you make. For example, Sinners was consistently making money.
Mhm.
Superman made most of its money at the front end and then it dropped off.
Mhm.
So as long as you're still making a significant money, you don't have to beat something else as long as you're showing revenue.
Right. But Gunn specifically addressed when it got pulled from the cinema. He particularly addressed saying that he wanted it to be available to people who couldn't get to the movies because it was important to see that before Peacemaker season 2.
And for those that don't know, Gunn is not in control of the release schedule for HBO Max.
Right.
Despite being ahead of DC Studios, he has no control over when HBO Max releases stuff. He's made that's abundantly clear with Peacemaker, Green Lantern, and stuff. People asked him countless times, "Hey, when's Lantern coming out?" He's like, "Bro, whenever HBO sets it, I'm waiting on them to give me a date too," kind of thing. But yeah, we've already seen the end of the $1 theater. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. What is going on, Biggie? I love them all. Superman, including Quest for Peace, 1000%. Yeah, dude. Quest for Peace it's kind of like Spider-Man 3. No one's debating the quality of it, but it's highly rewatchable. It's highly rewatchable. Yeah, man. I thought it was nice of them for NASA to lend Superman 4 the moon landing set. That was super nice of
Yeah,
them.
that's very nice. Yeah.
You can see the curtain moving
Yeah.
in parts in it. You don't even have to watch it in high definition to see the curtain moving in parts of it.
It was also incredible that they had a net that's big enough to put every single
All of
nuclear
them.
missile inside of him
Yeah, it was
that he can just then put together with his two hands and hold it.
oh, that was the most comic booky movie ever.
Yeah.
I need to get the first comic book appearance of old dude. I always want to call him Solar Man. It's not Solar Man. What was his name? Oh God. Nuclear Man.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, he appeared in an old 1980s comic, but I think it was Jeff Johns that brought him back for a single issue of Action Comics. He was in the Phantom Zone or something.
Mhm.
I wish he was on the cover. That'd be cool. Cause it'd be great just to get Nuclear Man on the cover or something. But you got like I think a comic adaptation where you just have Superman and him just kind of squaring off in a Frank Miller pose. They're squatting.
Of course they are.
But yeah, but that gave everyone some ammo. So and my my response to that. And we see it happen all the time with really successful movies. They'll hit their home release window, but they'll still be in theaters.
Yeah.
So why was Superman pulled from theaters if it was still making money despite wanting to put it available at home?
Yeah, I mean, I get the 45-day window. I do. But I also get the point where, you know what? If I get to 30 days and nobody's going to see it anymore, why leave it there? And
Thunderbolts.
if it gets to 60 days and people are still watching it, leave it there for as long as people are willing to go see it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. They like I don't know how you can get them to commit to profitably release movies in theaters without like writing their books. So you would have to ride
Right.
their books with them to be able to do that because you can't twist someone's arm. I don't mean Netflix. I mean any of these studios. You can't make
No.
Disney leave Thunderbolts in theaters when Thunderbolts isn't making enough money. Thunderbolts didn't make it 28 days before they pulled it because no one was going to watch it.
Mhm.
It made decent money, but everyone sees it in 2 days and then they're done with it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think that's tough. I don't know the answer to it, but I just hope that some form or fashion there's some kind of, and I don't care what deal they have with the government or anything. I do think antitrust laws matters, but that's not the conversation I'm having. I'm just concerned with theaters. I hope Netflix makes a genuine commitment to keep theaters operating.
Mhm.
We've seen them make some good faith moves independent from this with what they did with Stranger Things and some other stuff as well.
Mhm.
That they didn't even try to profit off of it. It's like, we'll just sell some merch.
Right.
Like, I think that was fantastic. Bendis and Superman Volume 5, Number 2, published in October 2018. Thank you, Joe Michaels. Thank you, sir. Yeah, check who the artist was for me, Joe Michaels. Was it I think it was Ivan Reese.
I was
did the
saying, if it
art.
was Superman #2 with Brian Michael Bendis, it would have been Ivan Reese. Yeah.
Ivan Reese, I believe. Because it's a stellar image. He looks all jacked up like he's been in the Phantom Zone for too long. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm concerned for theaters. I hope they don't go nowhere. I just ordered a couple more steel books. It's a new payday. I've been watching and waiting and hoping to catch Casper on Steelbook. That sounds
Mhm.
goofy, but dude, that's a fantastic movie.
Mhm.
Like with Bill Pullman and Nicole Richie. But I ordered that and a couple other ones. And I ordered all those plastic sleeves, like they're pretty much pop protectors, the
Mhm.
same concept, but for steel books, which is great because I don't
You
ever.
just got one that came in a protector, right?
Yeah, Godzilla, yeah.
Mhm.
And I've gotten a couple of other ones over the times that were shipped to me in them, like the eBay purchases. But the thing is, I'm a completionist, so I have all these steel books. I open them to watch them. I never throw these away, Paul. Do you throw yours away?
Yeah.
See, you throw yours away, but look,
Mhm.
this is what comes on the
What are you
steel books.
What are you gonna do with those?
Well, see, that's the good thing with the pop protector. I can put them back on the movie and put them into the sleeve, and my
Right.
movie is complete and it's
Right.
held together.
I was gonna say the one thing that is good that I don't why I might keep them is because it actually tells you on that what all of the extras are on it.
The special features, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've always been like that. Even like my Blu-ray days, even when I worked at Movie Stop, when I would get a Blu-ray or a new movie that's not a steelbook, they're still shrink wrapped.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, if you get them from Best Buy, Walmart, wherever, they'll have a little sticker on the front, a little advertising sticker telling you bonus this, bonus that,
Mhm.
Walmart exclusive cover, Best Buy exclusive cover. When I would bring them home, I would peel those off of the cellophane, which are always easy to get off.
Mhm.
I open the movie and I stick it on the inside of the case. I still have them. They would go on the digital sheet or wherever, but I would even keep the use tags from Movie Stop and put them in. I've always just kept everything that came with them to the best of my ability. So getting those sleeve protectors, I'm like, okay, I can keep them complete, then display the way they
Yep.
proper. So I'm very excited about that.
Did
Ordered them
you?
off of Amazon.
I know it's not a steelbook, but did you order the Phantom?
No, I haven't pre-ordered yet. It doesn't come out till April, so there's a
Right.
lot of time. But should I pre-order it this early in fear that
Uh,
it makes a difference when you kind of pre-order thing? So yeah, I was looking when you mentioned it. I went and looked,
mhm.
and then this past weekend, I went and looked again because I was trying to see if it would pop up on any of the shops that I'm familiar with,
Mm-hmm.
and it has not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd the X go? No thanks. But yeah, that's a killer price.
Mm-hmm.
$29.89, 4K release. And here's the best thing, and I love when they do this. So you have the original. That's the original VHS, because I don't know how many of y'all remember, but the Phantom, when it released on VHS, was clamshell or regular, but it was a lenticular cover that you could move, and it kind of just moved the fist slightly, and the reflection on it says Slam Evil. But the actual theatrical movie poster for it was badass, was absolutely badass. It says the ghost who walks with the light shining down through the words, with him just sitting in the skull cave in the chair with his head slightly down and the light hitting him. Well, this case is reversible. You have the sleeve, but you can take the actual whatever it's called out of the case, the slip out of the case, and reverse it and put it in and get that.
Oh wow.
So the second this comes in, which I'm definitely pre-ordering it, the second it comes in, I'm flipping it to that. So you have the sleeve with one image and the case with the other image. Get the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
But yeah, dude, that's freaking tough. This is a website I wasn't familiar with until this, which Paul assures me is a real website, called Kino Lorber.
Kino Lorber. I have ordered, I don't know if it's from them, but they put out the original Pink Panther volume.
A lot of older stuff too. Yeah.
They put out the original Pink Panther cartoons, and I got those.
Yeah, if you look here,
I think it's kind of like ordering from like Arrow. I think,
dude, Arrow's next level.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of stuff on here you wouldn't see very often. That's for sure. Yeah, a lot of stuff. It looks like a lot of, I don't want to say eclectic stuff, but stuff that doesn't get a lot of attention. Yeah, because I was looking on here like, well, what else do they have that I can look at? Maybe do a test order kind of thing beforehand. But yeah, I didn't really see anything that sparked my attention. So I went back to my mainstay for online movie ordering, which is Groove Entertainment. I absolutely love Groove Entertainment. They have a huge steelbook section. The other place is the Movie Room, but the Movie Room is expensive, dude. Like, they have all the Arrow stuff over at the Movie Room, because I was looking for Jason X, which they have, and Lost in Space, which they have. Both of those are Arrow releases, which do crazy cool packaging with like booklets and stuff. That's kind of like their shtick. And but yeah, I didn't see much else on this Kino Lorber side. So it seemed kind of weird to me that the Phantom was getting that treatment. It looks like it's a good proper 4K upscale. It's not a digital upscale. They had to get permission from the director and producer, and they got the original film where they do a scan on the original film with the 4K camera. So it's a proper upscaling, not just a digital cleanup kind of thing. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
I'm waiting for, I think in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, my Excalibur 4K comes in from Arrow.
You order that directly from Arrow?
Yeah.
I haven't even been to their website. I might ought to try that, because like Casper, back to Casper. But Casper was like $7 more on the Movie Room than it was on Groove. And the Movie Room is the only place that I see the Arrow stuff, except if I go to Barnes and Noble, which has the biggest movie selection. And like their Blu-rays go from like $50 to $70. They're super expensive at Barnes and Noble. But I want that Jason X.
Barnes and Noble, if you go to the store, Barnes and Noble does a lot of like 20, 30, 40% off, but it basically just brings it down to what everybody else is already charging.
With shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else with shipping. Yeah, I'd probably need to look for coupons or something for Barnes and Noble. That would probably make a little bit more sense than just going in and buying stuff directly. But dude, it's hard to, like, when you're there, like, you're like, dude, it's right here in front of me, and the selection is amazing. It used to be a decent selection compared to like Walmart or Target, but now you go there, you're like, oh my gosh, this is heaven. There's more than one end cap of movies. I feel like I'm being spoiled right now, because our Walmarts here are like the last bastion of physical media, and like two of them don't. They don't. They have steelbook sections, right? And they don't even have steelbooks in them. They have like movie box sets in them. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, where are your steelbooks? And then the one that carries steelbooks doesn't seem like they get them a lot, or either they just got a lot. Goodwill is great for physical media, possibly, but I'm persnickety though. I'm wanting these 4Ks, man. That's all I want are the 4Ks. I'm upscaling a lot of the stuff that I have with movies that I watch constantly, and then new releases. And then on top of that, most of them I'm looking for in steelbooks, which I'm very impressed with how 2025 went with the steelbooks, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressed with it.
Yeah, because I think I mean, you're certainly not alone. Steelbooks really exploded in 2025.
I think it's helping save the physical media market.
Mm-hmm.
Dead media is better. Yeah, I saw where Angel got in a handful of stuff popping. One of them, it was a Blu-ray, but I forget what it was. It was a steelbook Blu-ray of something like, I kind of want that one, but it wasn't 4K. Oh no! You want to take a look at this Monarch season 2 trailer? See what's on. See what's on about that. We'll take a peek at that and see. That's a good point. Sledge, have you been to Dead Media? I know you comes to town. All right, let's see what we got here. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Now, this is releasing Fridays, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yep.
It's starting on the 27th. This is the it's not downtown, brother. It's before you, it's on Central Avenue before you get downtown for sure. It's like in the neighborhood area. There's like this miniature little shopping area that's like slap dab in the middle of a neighborhood area. But parking still kind of sucks because you park right in front of the storefront. But yeah, you don't have to go deal with downtown though. We should next time you come to town, Sledge, we need to plan it and make a day of just bouncing around. Yeah, but Dead Media is the bee's knees, my guy. But yeah, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters season 2. We're gonna try to watch this without getting shut down. We're gonna see how this goes because people watch trailers all the time, so it's going to involve us hitting pause a lot and stuff. So let's go. Well, right off the bat, I got to point out, Paul.
Kong.
Dude, they said, like, why'd they have to tell us when the trailer's starting? We clicked on the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Monarch, Legacy Monster, trailer starts now.
Right.
Thanks for the heads up. Apple TV really does have great quality. Great quality. Look, first off, look at this. The clear cut, like, super tech Monarch chip. We haven't seen anything like this since really Godzilla King of the Monsters, when they had the giant flying wing thing and the underwater stations that Monarch had. You don't really get as much Monarch tech in the other stuff. I guess the little the vehicles that travel to Hollow Earth, maybe. Maybe. Let's kill the sound.
Do you hear that?
This is not Kong.
And it's not Godzilla. This is something bigger.
It's got Viking tech. So they're fighting a freaking Kraken, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Going into Skull Island. Skull Island's supposed to be a big part of this season. The last season, when they went through this whole little Axis Mundi thing at the end of the last season with the fight with the Ion Dragon, I don't know how many people remember lowest common denominator. That's why they have to tell you. Oh, dude, the Venture Brothers is amazing. But at the end, like the timeline in this is wildly complex. So season 1 took place between Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. And they went down to the final battle. When they came back up, they were now after King of the Monsters and before Godzilla versus Kong. And they were on Skull Island. So there's a little bit of time distortion going through that gravity fields through these portals and stuff. But that places them in Skull Island where Apex is there, the company that built Mechagodzilla. So we're kind of right before that company reveals it, I guess, in that movie. So it'll be interesting seeing what they kind of reveal and show, because they introduced us to Apex when it was early on in season 1 before it became that big mega company.
They break another rule that people should follow. One is you don't ever keep things against their will on an isolated desert island, and you don't fly into clouds that have lightning going from one part of to another.
Yeah, that's probably a terrible idea to do that. And I guess like that
Yeah.
this is what happens when you fly into lightning clouds right here.
Mhm.
You know, Ethan Hunt told Henry Cavill not to jump through the lightning cloud, and he did it anyways. And we saw what happened to him in Mission Impossible Fallout. He almost died, if not for Ethan saving him. But apparently we're going to do a little bit of looking back at the big finale to season 1. Kurt Russell is presumed dead. Well, it was presumed question mark. Real fans knew better, just because like you don't kill Kurt Russell. That's not a thing. He's your draw.
You can't kill the kid from the Disney movies.
Not at all. Snake Plissken don't go out like that.
Right.
But yeah, this is clearly in Axis Mundi where the fight took place. It looks like after our main characters traveled out, he stayed behind. He's the only witness X waking up, where it was this giant cephalopod crustacean combo titan thing. But you can see a good shot of its head right there busting out of this big rock formation. It looks like they accidentally they never saw the escape. Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, see it waking up. We're going to get a couple of good shots in here. They're not saying nothing of important, but you get a little shot of its size there going over the whale.
Titan.
There it is again. The bioluminescence aspect is awesome. Reminds me of Pacific Rim. Thought that was pretty cool. And we saw a little flashback scene there too with Rand, John Goodman's character when he's younger, which I think is awesome because they actually had John Goodman in season 1. He died in Kong, but they brought him back for season 1 to film some scenes before his death. But a young version of him was looking at the cave drawings with this Titan on there, so it's going to have some backstory, some lore to it. Not sure what all they're going to do with it, but they kind of admit like we're going to need some help fighting this. We're going to need Kong. We're going to need Godzilla. But looking at this, where she's standing, it looks like she's on a wooden dock with like old broken dock posts in front of her.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're supposed to be right here, but they're not on that ship. They're not on that ship out there. Oh hell, just noticed Godzilla. What now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Titan X right there. Titan X.
Like a god.
2 eyes.
Yeah, 2 eyes. We're gonna get all these sea critters. Which you remember Godzilla 1985 or Godzilla Returns? You remember that? The one what was that guy's name that they had? Because they filmed it. It was a tow version, but they had like an American version of the same movie. God, what was that guy's name who played in Raymond Burr?
Raymond Burr, yeah, he was in the original Godzilla, the American Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. And then in Godzilla 1985, they had the giant ticks that were like off of Godzilla, and that they introduced that. So I think that's kind of cool that they have those in here because it kind of reminds me of like a little bit of the lore with Godzilla 1985, where the guy on the boat is fighting for his life against a tick and have to stab it with the knife while making the weird little crunching noise and stuff. But yeah, this thing is massive. There it is again with the wooden dock with little wooden boats in front of it. Now those bioluminescence thing look to be lighting up red. So not sure what all it's got up its sleeve.
And we don't know what it wants. I'm gonna find a way to set things right. I promise.
So
To destroy a monster.
He's at a funeral.
Yeah, I don't know if he was at a funeral or if they were visiting the graveside of her mom. Because you know how her mom was like one of our main characters in the flashback years?
Yep.
So either someone died or they're just kind of, because remember he was kind of in love with her, you know, like, but she fell for Rand.
Just seems like if they were just visiting, they wouldn't have necessarily gotten all dressed up and put ties on and things like that.
Oh, that's a good point. I wonder who died. I wonder if it's her brother, because we just saw her brother was in the city when all the buildings were getting hit and attacked. What's his name? Kinchi, I think.
I don't remember.
Help this film gain traction. Still hope. Which film? What? Which film, Billy? What film? Help me out. Clearly a shot from Skull Island. This scene should look familiar. This is the Valley of the Apes. This is where our title characters in Kong Skull Island battled the Skull Crawlers. When that epic scene with the smoke bombs going, and Tom Hiddleston with the sword, and yeah, just a crazy cool fight. So we'll be visiting Skull Island because they're going to be going there. They think that we need help from Kong and Godzilla. Now, I don't think they're going to cross paths in this. I think we're going to get two separate events, with Titan X dealing with Kong and with Titan X eventually getting beast moded by Godzilla. Because I'm still of the assumption the first time those two Titans went face to face was in Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, they very well could have crossed paths beforehand, but he's been shielded from Godzilla being on Skull Island the whole time. Here we go.
We need Kong.
And Godzilla. What if they make the situation worse? You're trying to play God. No man should play God.
Holy crap. That shot of Kong kind of hitting the
Man should play God. You're trying to play God. No man should play God.
I've lost people I love. Don't make the same mistake I did.
In the end, only one thing matters.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That shot of Kong's like smacking the ground, that looked like right where we saw him at the end of season 1, where they pop up outside on Skull Island. He kind of walks up through the bushes. But dude, yeah, this reminds me of -1 right here. You remember in -1 the boat chase, Paul?
Yep.
But this thing looks freakish, disgusting. This pointed mouth, these very asymmetrical teeth, just disgusting looking. Season 2, yep. I stopped what we were watching when this trailer dropped and got some serious heat from Badger and MVH. They sure as heck STFU when they saw the trailer, though. Take my
and Billy is saying the name of the movie he was trying to hype is Still Hope. That's the one he wants people. That's the name of the movie.
Still Hope. Never heard of it.
Just came out.
The movie did or the trailer did?
The movie came out on the 5th.
We'll switch over and take a look at that in just a second here then, Billy. Just for you, bud.
Who wins?
Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, it looks absolutely tough. It looks insane. So what I'm thinking is like you're going to see that fight on Skull Island with Kong. I think they're going to try to lure it there possibly in hopes that Kong can take it out. And that scene where you saw him kind of like in waist deep water yelling, I think is going to retreat on him. Because I mean, obviously, timeline wise, like the worst that can happen is these guys can like just stop fighting. Yeah, that's it. They don't lose. But it looks wild. It looks like it has a lot more Titans than season 1 did. I gotta tell you, the story was so good with season 1, and I know a lot of people when it comes to like kaiju stuff, they're always like, I don't care about the people. I do. Like, I want to see the people that interact with the movie. I want to care about them. I want to care if a building falls on them. I want to care if they're interacting in the fight, if they live or die. Like, I like caring about the people.
one reason why Godzilla -1 was so good was because of the characters in it, not just Godzilla.
Yes. Like we didn't cry at Godzilla getting taken out, but we all cried when we found out old girl was still alive at the end. Like that
Mhm.
broke everyone. Like I was in a theater full of people that like I don't know, I was questioning if they could even read, because we're sitting here reading the movie, but by the end of it, like even Kyle, my wife, like we're there with my wife, Pops, Finn, and Monkey, who Monkey can't read at that age, and Finn was sitting there picking selective words, and all of us, like, we're just like, oh my god, like Kyle sitting there wiping tears on her face and stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm super excited for it. Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be faster paced. Now that we've been introduced to remember the structure of season 1 was they had the character structure episodes, so that we spent one with the sister, one with the brother, one with the dad.
Right.
Now that we have that, I suspect this season might go a little faster. Now that I
Right.
think about it, I bet they do kill off the brother. If I had to guess,
Mhm.
that's clearly not the sister. She's standing there at the grave. And why would they be there for her brother's girlfriend?
Right.
What other prominent characters do we have? Their dad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Their dad, their cheating father,
Mhm.
who had the two separate families. Remember that was the whole
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Now it's coming back to me. So we have the cheating dad who had the family in Japan and the family in the States. We
Right.
had the mom in Japan still, who's like forgiving of the dad, doesn't even want to address it, just let's keep life moving. Then we have the mom in the States that's a little bit more. I bet one of those go down. We saw the monsters wrecking Japan, so maybe it's that mom.
Mhm.
What's going on, C Payne? Hello to you. I don't know. I'm excited to find out. We don't have long to wait. Just about
Right.
3 weeks. Right at about 3 weeks. It's going to be good. All right, stop sharing that. What's the name of this movie, Paul?
It's called Still Hope.
What is it about? Let's take a look at this.
It is forced into sex trafficking. Young Hope finally finds her freedom after surviving years of abuse. Reunited with her family, she struggles to adjust to her old life as she reconciles with all she's endured.
So it's a true story.
Guessing.
It sounds like a true story.
Mhm.
Still Hope. Directed by Richie Johns. Say producer. What is Still Hope based on? Based on true stories from trafficking
Yep.
survivors, the film covers difficult subject matter. We see violence and some drug use in it. Yeah, I'll haven't seen a trailer or anything. You can ask Tyler Main, who did a whole comic book trying to draw awareness to human trafficking. Angel Studios that fought like hell to get Sound of Freedom and release it, that we talked about on here when that came out. More than ever, people are finally aware of just how true all of that is. But it doesn't sound particularly good. These movies aren't meant to be watched to be good. I will tell you, Sound of Freedom is a good movie. It's structured well. It has like intense moments and all that. But the story subject matter is very heavy, and it's very hard to watch if you have a heart at all. But the most important thing about those kind of movies isn't necessary to watch them. It's just to be they're trying to tell you something to be aware of. It's to be aware of these things. And as a parent, it's super crazy. Like you kind of watch for some of these things. Like you see a lot of it on social media where people report like, hey, these people were following me in the parking lot at the mall, and hey, these people had to scare these people off that came and tried to grab me. That kind of stuff happens all the time. And I think people really, really, really don't realize how common it is and how dangerous it is. Tim Ballard is doing God's work 100%. Timito. Yeah. I remember when Sound of Freedom came out, I ignorantly shared that, hey, y'all, I want to go watch this movie. It's kind of intense and life-changing. And at the time when it came out, which relatively speaking wasn't long ago, it was a Friday morning live stream. I mentioned it, and people in the chat were like, that's just QAnon conspiracy. That's crazy. You think there's this giant worldwide human trafficking ring? I'm like, yes. You think that's crazy. I think that's common sense based off of our exposure to the world. And fast forward, Not only was it true, it's worse than y'all thought. I'm very happy that more people are waking up or seeing. It isn't a matter of waking up. It's a matter of exposure. Everyone's life is different. We see different things and you have different exposure to news, reels, clips, social media experiences. But that stuff is seriously real. And Tim Ballard specifically, that The Sound of Freedom is based off of some of his life stories and events. You can go back on worldwide news like ABC, NBC from like 15, 20 years ago. The sting operation that he ran, where he took out a major worldwide trafficking ring and saved over 20 kids in just one operation, where they brought them to an island to do a deal there. He tried to get them to bring as many as he could. They had cameras up. They recorded the whole sting operation. It was shown on the news. They blurred out the kids' faces and showed you where they had built this cabana to set it up like they were these rich guys trying to party, and people bring the kids over on a big boat and then drive over on a dinghy. Like, all that shit is real. It is 100% real. It's how Mr. Presley's kind of films and normies want to deny it. To a degree, yeah, big time. Saved person mode, faith-based films promote things like Bible speaking. Saved person, most faith-based films promote things the Bible speaks against.
Not sure what he's saying there.
Yeah, I'm trying to decode it. Retype it, Kevin. You lost me on that one. Saved person, comma. Most faith-based films promote things the Bible speaks against. Possibly. I don't know about most, but a lot of people use the Bible for their faith. A lot of people come at it differently. So I guess it depends on who's making the film, what they're trying to say. But I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. A lot of people in general in 2026 that claim to follow the Bible or use it as a North Star for their spirituality haven't read that book.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, and from my perspective, some of the best things that have ever happened in history have been because of faith. Some of the worst things that have happened in history have been because of faith.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about this. Nothing is simple in life. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Courageous is a dang good religious movie. Oh, let me read this properly. Courageous is a damn good religious movie.
I think you meant to say darn.
Yeah, I read it darn on accident, just assuming that's what it said. Oh, no. This is true. There's loads of films where people eat fish on Friday. Eat fish on Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I love religious studies, and that's where you get in. That's where you get into the Great Reformation right there.
I am rewatching the because that's kind of a lull for the most part. There's still stuff that comes out every week, but it's like, Knights of the Seven Kingdoms is like a 30-minute thing, whatever.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting more.
Yeah, I'm rewatching on Paramount Plus The Borgias. It's
How do
about
you spell that, Paul?
Borgias. The Borgias. It's basically about Pope Alexander VI.
Okay.
And I love those type of things. There's one on Netflix. I think it's called The Medicis. I love history, and I especially love religious history, and we're watching those things. And the Borgias is it's amazing. What happened at that time? He's basically considered to be one of the most corrupt popes in all of history.
Man, to be the most, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Does your family largely come from a Catholic or Protestant or Orthodox background?
Roman Catholic.
Yeah. I was just thinking that because with DVH being across the pond, he's going to be large, not necessarily him, I'm not going to assume, but I wouldn't be wrong in assuming that his family, the religious ones, probably come from more of a Catholic background. Because that's why America exists. We were denouncing the
DVH. There are probably more Anglicans.
You think so?
Because Henry VIII basically did away with the Catholic Church and formed his own church, which is the Anglican Church, and so that's the prominent church. Again, DVH can tell me if I'm wrong. There are Catholics obviously in England, but the Anglican Church is the national church, and it was created. This is this is dumbing it down to its like core thing, was created because the Pope wouldn't annul King Henry VIII's marriage, and so he said, "Well, fine, we're gonna basically." He closed all the monasteries, raided them all, separated himself from the Catholic Church, and created his own church.
Do you know what my hint was though?
What?
His comment.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. I mean, again, I'm a I was growing up
Look at this
Roman
massive
Catholic
curveball right here.
Baptist. There you go. I
Hey,
don't
DVA,
understand.
you would be at home down here in the South.
I don't understand why you can't eat meat, but you can eat fish. Isn't fish meat? It's just fish meat. It's the same
Fish
thing.
meat.
It's the muscles. It's everything.
It had a
of the fish.
face. It was smiling at you before you cooked it.
Exactly.
Faith-based films promote every sin in the Bible, speak against fornication, adultery, drinking, smoking, lying, stealing, killing, rape, and molestation. As somebody who's watched a fair share, because I come from a family that my dad's a police officer, so he's like definitely seen like the worst sides of life. My mom's a kindergarten teacher who's a very faith-driven woman. She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't cuss. It's not her nature. I've seen faith-based stuff my whole life, and I've never ever once seen a faith-based film that promotes any of those things. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I haven't seen a single one that promotes any of those things.
I'm gonna say if they're promoting those things, I would not necessarily call them a faith-based film.
Yeah. Catholic, Christian is pretty much how my whole family is when it comes to Catholic.
Yeah, and Billy is absolutely right.
Yeah, I think I don't even think you should. It shouldn't even be a requirement. That's the scary thing. It shouldn't even be a requirement to have faith to be against human trafficking. Yeah, it's a weird world we live in. Weird world. Knights of the Seven Kingdom. Paul, you're an episode ahead of me now, and that's my bad. That's my bad. The last episode
I told you it was coming out on Friday.
You did. You definitely did. So the last episode I saw was 3. Is that it? 3?
3, correct. Yep.
Where you pretty much, I don't recall what happened other than the end of it really just stood out a lot. Like he was just, he was training. He got bribed by one of the Targaryens to take a fight, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants to hold his honor. Like, just shows like that even back then the fix was in when it comes to sports. And one of the Targaryens gets a little rough with the lady he met who was painting a shield for him, and breaks her hand, and he steps in, Dunk does, and stops it and gets held down, and they're about to curb stomp him, American History X style, when little Egg comes in and says, "Brother, stop, you piece of crap, my brother," like kind of revealed himself to be Targaryen. So it kind of, for me, it hit the point where I'm more interested than ever. So I'm really mad at myself for not watching episode 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me.
Yes.
Yes.
So, right. So he's Aegon Targaryen, which is how he gets the name Egg. We find that out in episode 4. His real name is Aegon, or Aegon. So we get that. I won't tell you what's going to happen in the rest of the episode.
You can talk about it. I really don't care about being spoiled.
He is,
unless Dunk or Egg gets killed in it. That's which I know they don't, because they die at their ripe old age playing with Wildfire in Summerhill.
Right. So we end up with Dunk is brought to the meeting of all the Targaryens, whatever, and he's basically going to be killed. And he makes a speech about how there are knights and everything, and doesn't anybody here have any chivalry anymore? And then he claims that he wants to invoke his right of duel. Which his right of duel is that the person accusing and the person accused fight each other, and whoever wins, they're either guilty. And if Dunk wins, he's innocent. If Dunk loses, he is guilty.
Do they get to the fight though in episode 4? Do they get to the?
No.
Now I feel like I need to skip the episode.
Then the Targaryen says, "That's fine, but I want to invoke something too. I want to invoke the fight of 7." And the fight of 7 is something that hasn't been used for hundreds of years, and that is you have the right to expand that from 1-on-1 to 7-on-7. And that's how that goes. And so Dunk is forced to try to find 6 other people that will help him, even though he knows no one.
So is that
And
where the name comes from?
the Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Yeah, does that have to do with the name?
I don't think so. I think maybe that's where the concept of the Night of the Book the Rule of Seven is.
The
Could
rule
be.
of seven, because
Yeah.
there's different kingdoms.
Yeah. And so it comes down to that day, and Dunk goes around and he tries to find people to help him, and he's kind of picking people off one by one. He picks off one guy, if you remember, in episode 2, I think it was. You see one guy fighting against his squire for a while, and then he's like showing him how good he is and everything. He convinces him to be on his team, but on the morning of the actual duel, he says he's going to go with the Targaryens instead because they paid him lots of money to do it instead.
Oh,
So that happens, and so he's left down to 6. And Dunk makes a big speech. Will no one help me? Will no one help me? Blah 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 blah. And at the very end, the main Targaryen comes riding in and says,
kind of the noble one that recognized him earlier.
Exactly. Says, I still believe in chivalry. I will be on your team. So we have 7-on-7, and that's where we leave it.
You call Jehovah's Witnesses a doomsday cult? I was thinking like Heaven's Gates, my guy. like proper doomsday cult. David Koresh or something. But yeah, I'll probably check it out in the morning. That's typically when I end up watching them, is Monday morning before work, because they're so short. It works out perfect. I won't say where I sit when I watch them in the morning time before work, but it's timed out perfectly, Paul.
And I'll bet it fits in perfectly with the show.
Yeah, like he's saying with the theme.
It's like you're in the episode.
Yeah, it's 4D. It's interactive.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's get into it. There's some pretty cool books that came out this week. DCKO, the biggest event of comic book year, has been this current DC main event kind of thing. I think this has been such a successful event because they focused on fun. Does that make sense? Because the full disclosure, I've read all the way through next week's, but I'm not referring to none of that. But just looking at this event, they're clearly just having fun with it. And what's really making me think that it's behind Paul, the picture behind Paul. All right, you got the good cover. I'm going to make you big. I gave it away already and mailed it off. But this is a DCKO boss battle. It's a one-shot that takes place between the events of issue 3 and 4. 4 comes out next Wednesday. And this was like a huge draw. This was a huge draw for the event. It was announced at one of the comic conventions this past year that all of these other intellectual properties will be crossing over with the DC characters, including Mortal Kombat characters, Red Sonja, Vampirella, the Annabelle doll from the Conjuring universe, and most notably Homelander from The Boys. You know, it's one of those things matching up kind of all your favorite people. What if this person fought that guy? Who would win X, Y, or Z? And they actually have Homelander and Superman face off. The stage is set at the end of issue 3 of DCKO. Our remaining 4 champions are standing across from a complete anti-life version of the Absolute Trinity from Absolute DC Comics. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, as well as Booster Gold, which Darkseid is currently inhabiting his body on Earth because he's kind of like a celestial level entity. And that's where number 3 ends, and that's where boss battle starts, is right there facing off. But World Forger and Gorilla Grodd step in and use World Forger's hammer to hit the ground and split some fissures through the ground into other universes, other dimensions, so that our heroes can go, and that kind of freezes time. Y'all dip down in there, fight some people, because all of the energy, the whole point of this is these battles are building up Omega energy, like violence, chaos, all these things. Omega energy gets built up through them, and they're absorbing it to face off a Darkseid. So that's the premise. Go fight all these other people to gather up some more energy. As y'all are fighting, World Forger is absorbing it in his hammer. And that's where it gets us to our face-offs. You have a 2v2 with Black Lightning and Plastic Man versus Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Joker and the Annabelle doll Red Sonja and Wonder Woman, Vampirella and Batwoman, and then obviously most notably, you had Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Star Sapphire, which was delightful.
And you had the bear from Under the Trees Where No One Sees against Lex Luthor.
Which was funny watching a bear try to scratch Lex's power armor. Like, what are we doing here? I like how he was just disturbed. He's like, oh my God. So they approach it like you would expect them to. And we kind of talked about this. It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. Who are you even allowed to have win in something like this? Because you would have to kind of besmirch a property in order to have a definitive winner. And we don't get a definitive winner and not a single fight.
Right. So I got this one because one, it's Superman against Homelander, and it's by Derek Robinson, who actually was one of the people who co-created Homelander. Interesting too, because DC at one time did own Homelander. They were part of Wildstorm, I believe, before they moved to Dynamite. But my big thing was I liked it. I wanted to like it a lot more, and the reason I say that is because I don't think they did themselves any good by reanimating all of those other heroes. It should have been the 4 heroes against 4 people. They could have given 1 or 2 more pages to each of those 4 fights, made at least each of them get in a bigger hit than we actually saw, because each battle was only like 2 to 3 pages at the most. So, it was one of those things. I guess, they got the approval to do all of these things, and they figured, let's just throw everything in here instead.
There had to be a caveat.
Yeah.
Like you can't let him lose. You can't let him get beat
absolutely.
up.
And I get that, but you could have done if Superman and Homelander had 3 or 4 more pages or 2 or 3 more pages, you could have done a lot with that. Just in what Superman would do, what Homelander would do, type of thing.
Knocking each other through buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just more action kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been cooler to see our 4 champions, like maybe Superman has to fight Sub-Zero, and then he, like, you don't get a definitive whatever, then he goes to Homelander kind of thing. They didn't have to just bring back 4 so everyone 1v1s. You could have our 4 champions even fight more. It is battle royale, the whole thing. Ultimately, it felt to me like the filler pages in Marvel versus DC, DC versus Marvel from the 90s. Because remember, we had our title fights, the 5 that we got to vote for.
Right.
They gave us a definitive, but they showed us so many more characters, like the Elektra Catwoman, how it was just like a few panels on a page kind of thing.
Yeah.
That just like they're across from each other, they swing, and then you insinuate the winner kind of thing. It felt like that in a large degree, that it was just it all felt like filler, but just like 2 pages. It felt very bombastic, like when Superman first pulls up to Homelander and Homelander's holding that person's ripped off arm, and then the big 2-page spread when they all get kind of pushed into the fight together. But I had fun with it. It read well. What I enjoyed the most was the intro and the exit to it, with World Forger kind of just like giving it, because that was when we actually had some story in there. But I enjoyed it. But like you said, I wish I would have enjoyed it a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not a single definitive winner. Joker was the best part of the issue, who had to face off against the Annabelle doll, which the Annabelle doll literally doing nothing was the funniest part. Because Joker's sitting across the table from it, and he looks away for a second. He looks like, you moved. I know you moved. You moved. And then by that time, he's like swinging the doll around, trying to get it to do something. And it does nothing, which is hilarious. So he was just kind of losing his mind a little bit. The far superior installment in our DC KO franchise for this week, in my humble fact, is Night Fight issue number 4 of 4.
Mm-hmm.
This has been what started out as what I felt like an unnecessary way to expand the KO catalog to make more money, became a very meaningful, detailed, and memorable 4-issue Batman story, which I think will be a potential test of time kind of reference. Like people will say, hey, did you ever read that? Like, hey, that was kind of good. That was pretty tough. But we get to see through the 4 issues, Batman take a look at what a future would look like with each of his Robins kind of older, taking over things. And in this final issue, it's Damian with a kid. So you get to see Bruce with his grandson and stuff. And it had this awesome rallying into it where he kind of concedes when he's fighting Damian. Damian fully aware of the situation. He knows he has to fight Batman. He knows that they have to fight to win her, and Batman can't beat him. And Damian's like, dude, you have to get up. You have to keep fighting. He's like, I can't beat you. And him admitting defeat is what the Heart of Apocalypse wanted the whole time. And he convinces the Heart of Apocalypse to send him back into the tournament because he can cause chaos. I can be your champion. And the Heart agrees to the terms and sends him back. And on his way, you get the inner dialogue of Batman saying, I can do this, I can do that. But little did you know, you son of a bitch, all you've done is train me to fight you. So you get this ultimate turn. Like, dude, this guy's like, this freaking Batman. Like, it was a very, dude, that's Batman kind of moment. It was awesome. It actually reads very similar to DC AEW crossover number 1, which suffers the same way. Yeah, it's fun to get winners. You know what I mean? You need winners. But yeah, DCK, what'd you think of Night Fight number 4?
I liked it. And we were talking beforehand. It was like the plan all along was to have Batman come back, and it almost kind of makes sense because you have, if you're going to have the absolute Superman, absolute Batman, and absolute Wonder Woman, you need to have their regular universe counterparts at some point, probably against them. You would think.
Oh, for issue 4?
Yeah.
Is that your prediction?
That is my prediction.
A false prediction, people.
I can't tell when your face says nothing.
Resting dead face.
Exactly. Okay, moving on. I told Paul beforehand, DCKO issue 4 was my favorite issue of DCKO so far. It's good. It's really good. It's fun. It's good. We'll be talking about it next Sunday. Hey, my second favorite read of the week goes to, let's see if you can guess. Yes. It might have been my first favorite read. Yeah, what else came out? No, Absolute Superman.
Yeah, God, was it? Yeah, this is definitely number 2 after Absolute Superman. Yeah, for those that don't know, Absolute Superman came out this week. Issue 16, you get the full-on Absolute Hawkman, who is first seen in Absolute Evil. You get some of his backstory, you get big battles. It's incredible. Paul and I did the full DC deep dive on both Absolute titles for this week. That comes out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.-ish. Hey, kiddos. JSA issue number 16, which is JSA chapter 1, part 4 of this story that I've been begging everyone to go back, pick up, and read. What'd you think, Paul?
I loved it. I think they're setting up the next story arc very well. The first couple of pages have to do with Jim Corrigan. The very first page anyway has to do with Jim Corrigan and the Spectre, and we know that the next story arc is the search for the Spectre.
So. Yeah, it's a great issue. It brought a lot more characters together. You had Atom Smasher and Hippolyta crossing paths with Hawkman and Hawkwoman for the first time. You got Johnny Thunder trying like hell to bring the team together and doing some teleporting and bringing Jay Garrick in. Green Lantern's kind of doing his own thing, and he's in a bad way, in a bad place. It looks like he's knocking on death's door. So the big bad guy reveal at the end is also the Ultra Humanite is who's behind and organizing all the stuff and things. So proper villain, which if you never watched the Stargirl TV show, I cannot stress it enough. You should go watch the Stargirl TV show where Ultra Humanite makes a massive live action appearance through that.
And I believe he was the first superpowered villain who appeared in the DC universe.
Proper.
Or at least against the Justice Society anyway, which makes sense, which is why he's here. So.
Yeah, perfect sense. Yeah, really good. Another banger this week. We had a brand new series starting off, and it started out with a bang. So Dynamite Comics has been just doing so much great stuff this year and last year, and they brought back the Hanna-Barbera characters, Space Ghost and ongoing, and a lot of them other than that in miniseries Hercules, Blue Falcons. But now we have Thundar the Barbarian issue number 1 out this week, and Pop's Jack the Matina cover because I didn't have it on my pull list, but I got the Liefeld cover. Jason Aaron wrote this, and it was a fast-paced, action-packed first issue introducing us to the future of Earth and our title characters, Ariel, Ukla, and Thundar, doing a little rescuing and saving and fighting and stuff. And don't know how long this series is going to be or where it's going to go, but it was a great first issue. What are you studying, Paul?
I am looking at Batman.
Oh yeah, that is Batman. I have that somewhere.
Number 6.
Number 6. Pick up sticks.
I did
Matt
not get
Fraction's Batman. What do you think?
Thundar the Barbarian.
That's fine.
Oh,
I'll read it.
I'm
how it
enjoying
goes
Space
for
Ghost
you.
and all the other ones. I just managed to get Phantom number 4. Which is not Dynamite, but my comic shop ran
Madball.
out of them. But I found it somewhere else, so that just came in.
Oh, did you read it yet?
I have not.
Oh, you gotta let me know when you read it because I've been refraining from talking about issue 4 the Phantom until you read it because the way that issue goes and ends.
I know you said that you feel as though it does. It kind of supports your theory.
Yeah, my theory is that the first story arc is just an introduction for new readers, a reintroduction for old readers, and I think we're going to have a big twist into the second story arc and moving forward. I think we're going to hit a more modernized version, which to introduce people to the Phantom properly and knowing how hardcore the new Dick Tracy is, my theory is that they're going to kill the Phantom that we start the series off with, and his son is going to take up the mantle. But issue 1 through 3, like all we know is that Kit and Diana are there. That's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
But we get a little more clues in issue 4 that could support my theory. I'll leave it at that.
Getting back to this, a lot actually happens in this. We have Tim Drake, who decides he doesn't want to be Robin anymore. We have something going on with the Joker.
Weird, right?
At the end of the issue, apparently in issue number 7, which is the next issue, there's going to be a fold out that is supposed to explain the new origin of the Joker.
I don't like that idea.
Hmm.
Who was it that was it that we did the Joker year 1, 2, or 3 issue story arc not too long ago?
Was it Chip Zdarsky?
I think it might have been.
Hmm.
I don't like the idea of messing with Joker's origin. It just needs to be ignored and left alone. But it made me think about it when he pops up at the end of this. The doctor that's in charge of like the little brain technology that everyone's after or whatever that's part of the story. She has Joker in a big lab vial, like talking to him.
Tank.
Yeah. Like when was the last time we seen Joker in continuity proper? It's been a while.
Well, yeah, because he's part of the Hush too, so it has been a while. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So he's in the back of the tank. We do get to check in with some of our crime lords in the most brief passing. I guess they're leaving the meeting with the Minotaur. Mm-hmm. Story continuity wise, because the dude's got like the dead person wrapped up. The Minotaur meeting was issues ago, where it's revealed that all the crime families are being told by this man in a Minotaur mask that I'm in charge of Gotham Crime now. Do what I say, and look, I'm going to kill a bunch of you to show you that I'm powerful. And Penguin doesn't like it. Other people don't like it. Hugo Strange doesn't like it or have anything to do with it, and sends Monster Men off into this. I don't understand this book. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get it. What did Hugo Strange have to do with anything?
Not sure yet, but I'm willing to give Matt Fraction the benefit of the doubt.
I think they're trying too hard to do that. Like, what was it that they kind of solicited it on? Like, we're going to do the single issue format, but that's not true. Like, nothing about that is true, and I don't know if that's like affecting like the linear storytelling or something. I just don't know.
Yeah, and there was a whole thing where he's got to deal with Hush 2, but he also has to change where all the pieces are with how Chip Zdarsky left everything to try to get it to where he wants to be. But I can give you a spoiler if you haven't heard it.
Poison Ivy's mayor.
Poison Ivy is mayor coming up. Yeah. Which is from her book. So it's not even something that, I don't know if it was his idea, but it's going to happen in Poison Ivy's book. But
I don't know. I think this is setting up to be like a weird era for Batman. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the Hattush thing, the Hush releasing delayed coming out, I don't think it's relevant to this at all. Is it? Like, it exists in its own little pocket. It's almost like the fact that it's in the Batman numbered properly, I think kind of like if you take the numbering away from it, it changes nothing about it. You know, if it was just like a standalone graphic novel, or if it's released in Batman proper, like continuity wise, it just doesn't. It didn't come after the Chip Zdarsky run. It doesn't come before. So, to me, the only thing it's really continuity wise paying attention to is the Last Hush. It's like this undisclosed. Like, that's how I kind of approach it. Like, there's this unspecified time gap between the Last Hush and this Hush. And I was reading it like that, and it doesn't really hurt or change anything.
And I thought I had read somewhere that it was supposed to set up the Matt Fraction Batman, but then they decided, you know what, we can't wait any longer, so we're just gonna go.
I guess by the end of it, maybe we'll know 7 years from now, right?
Right. It's supposed to be the end of March, just a little bit longer.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Well, you got anything else you want to hit on?
Those are all the books I had.
The kids just rolled in. I'm going to go catch up with them, get them cleaning up, get ready, hop in the bathroom, get ready for school tomorrow.
There you go.
Appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out. I hope you enjoy the Super Bowl. It looks like the Birds are beating the Patriots 3-0. Seen anything notable happen yet, Paul?
No, I think it's just started the second quarter. Looks like 3-0.
So after this quarter is the concert.
Exactly.
Okay. There you go. So go enjoy some football or watch some concerts. You get 2 concerts tonight. You get the Bad Bunny Green Day show and the Kid Rock Brantley Gilbert show. So go watch them both. Have fun. And until next time. Peace.
You are who you choose to be.